Konnichiwa, hello and welcome. This is Roy at NinjaZilla90, and today I will be reviewing the NECA Target exclusive Godzilla King of the Monsters Burning Godzilla 2019 figure. And I got some things to say about it, so let's get on with this review. And now, starting things off with the box, as you can see, first and foremost, we have a really cool picture of the 2019 Burning Godzilla right there with the city background. Very similar to the same pose on the box for the V2 figure. I think all they did was just do a color palette swap and add in like a city background and just made everything like reddish orange to indicate like the Burning Godzilla. But anyway, we also have the Monsterverse logo at the top right corner. We have the title of the figure, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Godzilla, although it should say Burning Godzilla. The top of the box, we have choking hazard. So we have warning label, choking hazard. So yeah, don't get hungry and mistake this for food and try to eat it, because yeah, not going to go over so well in your stomach. And of course we have ages 4 and up, indicating this is for older collectors. This is not for small children. We have a really cool picture of the 2019 Godzilla right there, well, the normal version anyway. And we have the Monsterverse logo yet again. We have the Godzilla 65th anniversary logo right there from 1954 to 2019, although we are 2025 now. We have the NECA logo at the top right corner. We have the movie logo yet again, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Godzilla, the title of the figure, although it should say Burning Godzilla. The left side of the box, we have the Godzilla 65th anniversary logo yet again. It says Godzilla King of the Monsters yet again. We have the plot for the movie. I'll leave it there for a hot little minute so you guys can pause it and read it if you want to. Okay, moving right along, we have a really cool close-up shot of the 2019 Burning Godzilla right there, and of course it just says Godzilla at the bottom. And the right side of the box, we have the Godzilla 65th anniversary logo yet again from 1954 to 2019, although like I just said, we are 2025 now, so that's about like what, 5 years out of date, maybe 6. And here we have the Godzilla King of the Monsters logo yet again. And of course we have measures 12 inches head to tail, hinged jaw, over 25 points of articulation, and we have the Godzilla nameplate yet again. The back of the box, we have a really cool close-up shot of the figure yet again. Well, for the first time actually. Right there, looking really cool. We have the Godzilla name logo yet again. We have all the different figures you can collect in a line. Rodan I don't have, unfortunately. We do have Mothra, and we have Godzilla. They're showing Burning Godzilla, and the back of the version 2. They show the version 2. I don't know why, but we have the Godzilla King of the Monsters movie logo yet again. We have a 2019 Legendary, all rights reserved, trademark Toho.co, Monsterverse, and Legendary, blah blah blah. We have the Legendary Pictures logo right there, and the Toho Company logo right there. And before I forget, the inside of the box, we have a really cool picture of the figure front and center on the inside of the little cover flap there, looking really nice. And of course we have the inside of the box with the burning like city backdrop, like melting down. But yeah, I already took the figure out, so there's really nothing too interesting to look at in there. And nothing too interesting at the bottom of the box either, except for the NECA logo and real toys, a serial number, and a barcode, which I'm more than sure not too many people are a fan of barcodes. So with that said, that pretty much concludes it for the box. So now on to the figure. And now, here we have the Target exclusive NECA Godzilla King of the Monsters Burning Godzilla 2019 figure right here before us in all of his red hot burning atomic glory. As you can see, this is a well sculpted, well detailed, well articulated figure made by, well, NECA, of course. Now, first things first, I said this a couple of times before about this figure. If you look at it closely, and I've noticed this in the store before I bought it, when I opened up the front flap, little door in front of like the having on all the NECA figure boxes. Well, even when I got them out of the box, to me, for some reason, the way the paint scheme is on this figure, I know it might sound funny, but it kind of makes him look like a big, giant, legendary Godzilla-shaped flaming hot Cheeto. But it's still a cool figure nonetheless. Although it does kind of like the color scheme, it does resemble like the look of the flaming hot Cheetos when you get them out of the bag. But anyway, going over detail, we can see he does have some sort of like some bright orangey, fiery, red hot dorsal spines right here, looking really nice. Also, we have some darker. The side dorsal spines are also like a darker color, looking really cool. Really nice. Also, you can see some like fiery, like lava like veins going through his thighs and on the side of his upper torso there, looking really nice. Same is true with the other side, so you can see these fiery veins, sort of like almost like little like fiery streaks going through his body, like right here and right here, looking really nice. Of course, the eyes on this one is pupilless as well. I will be going over articulation with this figure, starting with the upper body portion of the figure, working my way down to the lower body portion of the figure, and then getting a fuller 360 view of the full figure. So let's get started. And now, starting things off with the upper body portion of the figure. As you can see, like I said, the eyes are pupilless. They are like a red hot, fiery, burning, sort of like orange colors, like yellow orange colorization. But they look really cool though, make him look very fierce and very mean. Looks like he's about to go tear up King Ghidorah's butt, which he eventually does in the movie. And of course, the jaw is on a hinge, so we can open that jaw. And we can see all those red hot fiery details on the inside of his mouth as well, looking like he's about to fire off that burning atomic breath heat beam there. Yeah, that is one of the most strongest heat rays you can get hit with, is the burning heat ray. That'll singe off some flesh for real. Just look what happens to Destroyer in Godzilla vs. Destroyer when he starts using that. Destroyer's skin just literally starts melting clean off his body. But anyway, the head can move independently from the neck, so we can do that. We can also turn the neck, but it's hindered by the dorsal spines. Also, I'm going to give you another close-up look at those eyes yet again, so we can see how fierce looking they are. Looking really nice. And yet again, really nice on this side. And of course, we can see those legendary Godzilla gills in there, which is really nice. You could see them more so on the NECA figures than what you can on the SH Monster Arts figures. And you can see them very well on the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic versions as well, which I do have the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic version of this one as well. But anyway, moving on to arm articulation. The arms can swivel all the way around a full 360 on a ball joint in the opposite way, as you are witnessing. We do have really good elbow swivels, so we can swivel those elbows all the way around a full 360 like so. And of course the opposite way. Yikes. And the same is true with the other arm. So yeah, I better do it with a one arm at the time before I accidentally knock this over, because I almost accidentally knocked over my V2 when I was going over articulation with the arms, trying to move them both at the same time. But anyway, we do have I just went over elbow swivels, didn't I? We also have a single joint hinge in the elbow as well, so you can move them, bend them forward and back. Same is true with the other arm. It's pretty much the same level of articulation as the V2 in the original version, because technically it's the same figure, it's just a different colorization, just a recolorization. But anyway, we have a ball joint swivel in the wrist, and we could sort of wrap the wrist forward and back slightly, not a whole lot at all. And the same is true with the other hand, so we can swivel that a full 360. Not too much rocking motion, but you can wiggle it at least a little bit. But anyway, we do have a torso articulation. We do have a ball joint in the waist. We can rotate that waist all the way around a full 360 if we want to, but it's kind of pointless because, yeah, now we have Godzilla all backwards and all out of place. So, yeah, we don't want to make him feel bad, so want to put him back straight. So, yeah. Now he feels better. He feels a lot better now that we got him back straight. Okay. It's okay, buddy. We're not trying to hurt you. But anyway, that pretty much concludes it for articulation in the upper body portion of the figure. So now it is time to work our way to the lower body portion of the figure and getting into the hips and the knees and the feet and that good stuff. So let's get to it. And now for detail and articulation in the lower body portion of the figure. As you can see, the hips and the knees and the legs and stuff is well sculpted. Good job on the sculpting on the toe claws and on the hand claws as well, bringing them down so we can see them. And of course, we do have ball joints in the hips. We can't really spread out at all because the way it's just single ball joints. We don't it's not like barbell style ball joints. It's just a single ball joint made directly into the figure, so we can only do a full 360 swivel. That is it, and the opposite way. So we're not getting a whole lot of figure arts level monster arts level articulation in the legs. So you get what you get for the $20 price tag for what it was back in the day. And also we do have a single joint hinge as well, so we can kick forward and back with the single joint on the knee. And of course we can swivel that knee a full 360 if we choose to as well. Same is true with the other leg. We can kick forward like so, back like so, and do a full 360 swivel if we choose to, and then put it back down. And of course we do have a ball joint at the foot as well, so we can swivel that foot all the way around a full 360 and sort of point it forward and back slightly. Same is true with the other leg, so we can swivel that foot all the way around and point it forward and back slightly. And the tail, and like I mentioned on my last review for the V2 and for the normal version of the NECA 2019s, is the best, some of the best tails you're going to get on NECA figures. Better than the 2014 and better than the bendy wire tails. Like I said, they should have put the fully segmented tails on the reissues. For some reason, NECA chose not to do that. But anyway, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 ball joint segments on those tails, so we can move those tails really well. So we can move them out this far this way, Move that tail about that far the opposite way. Put it in a nice, beautiful S-curve there. So we got that nice, gorgeous S-curve going on there. And we could put it in an S-curve going the opposite way. So we got an S-curve going the opposite way, looking really nice. This tail has some really good fluid articulation. Like I said, I love the tails on the 2019 NECA Godzilla figures. Very satisfying. You can play with this all day and never get bored. But anyway, that pretty much concludes it for articulation and detail with the lower body portion of the figure. So now let's get a more in-depth, fuller view of the figure, shall we? And now getting a more in-depth, fuller view of the Target exclusive NECA Burning Godzilla 2019 figure. So you guys can see all the finer details in this figure. So we can get a better look at it before I wrap things up. So, you know, like I was saying, the tails on these figures, really satisfying. Like I said, I can play with that all day until it pops off. But I'll just pop that back on. Not taking any points off because that's my fault. I'm playing with it too much. That's what happens when you play with something too much. It likes to pop apart. But anyway, it doesn't usually do that. So I'm definitely going to cut it some leeway. I'm not taking points off. But anyway, yeah. I think this is a really good figure. Nice figure to have. Like I said, I also nicknamed this one the Flamin' Hot Cheetos Godzilla, because it looks like a Flamin' Hot Cheeto out of the box. Although, yeah, like the warning label says, choking hazard, please do not get hungry and try to eat this one. Even though it looks like a Flamin' Hot Cheeto, it is not a Flamin' Hot Cheeto. It does not taste anything like a Flamin' Hot Cheeto. So don't even try it. But anyway, that pretty much concludes it for this review. I will now be getting into my final verdict and giving this figure a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability. So let's get to it. And now for my final verdict on the Target exclusive NECA Godzilla King of the Monsters Burning Godzilla 2019 figure here. If I have to give this figure a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability, I have to give him a drumroll, please. A fair but square, well-deserved, knocked out of the park, red-hot, fiery, burning, 5 out of 5 stars. Why? Because detail-wise, this figure is really good. Not 100% movie accurate, but it is really well detailed. Better than what you're going to get with the Playmates Toys figures, and much appreciated for the price point for back in the day. Unfortunately, this was a Target exclusive, so you can only get this one at Target. Yeah, I had to, like I said, run a whole hour out of my way. I had to get my, well, thankfully I on the way to get there with my parents because I don't have a car, and I still don't have a vehicle right now. I got my only got a learner's permit, so anyway, I had to go all the way to my local Target, all the way in Houma, Louisiana, to get this. And like I said, an hour out of my way because I couldn't find this any other place, and I wasn't going to order them online, so I went all the way to my local Target to get this one. Like I said, which is an hour drive from my house, which can be a little bit more than an hour depending on traffic and traffic lights and stuff like that. But anyway, articulation is really good, although you don't have all the bells and whistles you would have with an SH Monsters figure, or, you know, a Hiya Toys figure by that matter. It is still good for what it is, and much appreciated for the price point for the time. Although, like I said, I would recommend getting the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic 2019 Burning Godzilla over this one, because that one you're going to get for a much more reasonable price, because NECA, they're not making them anymore. And this one I can see going for a significant markup on the aftermarket, just because it was a Target exclusive and, you know, limited to like one certain store. You know how that is when it comes to rarity, you know, aftermarket markups like nobody's business. But anyway, other than that, playability is good, although, like some of you guys witnessed, the tip of the tail popped off, but I put it back on. It was my fault because I was playing with the tail too much. But anyway, like I said, funny enough, rather not you guys agree with me, this one does kind of look like a big, giant, Godzilla-shaped flaming hot Cheeto. Not gonna lie. But it's still a cool figure, though. So, anyway, guys, that pretty much concludes it for this review. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, your attention span is much appreciated. That really helps out the channel, and if you want to help out the channel even more, like and subscribe if you haven't already. That helps the channel and this content and my content get out further into the algorithm. And as always, stay safe, take care, God bless, stay powered up, stay positive, and peace out.